Hi everyone, Jan Fursdon here from Fursdon House. I've just finished a project, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to be pleased with it or not, but I thought I'll go ahead and share it with you. I've been looking for and thinking about making some kind of folders for my loose ephemera that I've already created. And when I create things, I tend to like to do quite a few of them, sort of like an assembly line style. And normally I'm a very visual person. I like to see things out and displayed, but I was having concerns about whether or not the ephemera was going to be damaged, or if it was getting dusty, or whatever. And I also was running out of space, you know, having it spread all over the place. So I thought, I'm going to come up with these folders, or some kind of a folder, and this is what I decided on. And I'm still not sure it's going to work for me, so if it doesn't, I'll report back in with another video. But what I've done, I've just taken a very large, it's a 3-inch binder, and you can see this one is flowers. And all of the labels I've kept the same as far as the decoration is concerned, because I wanted unity. And fortunately I was able to find a color that I really liked, and these are just large 3-ring binders. And I took, what do you call it? The heavy cardstock paper, just cream colored cardstock, and made pockets using that and document protectors. I wanted to use the document protectors because they're more, if you can see that, they're pliable. So that's literally what I've done. I've taken, these are document protectors, the cardboard is just, you know, just cardstock. And I took the document protectors and cut them down into sizes I want. I wasn't very precise with this. I just kind of wanted to do it and get it done. And so far it's working okay, but I'm not convinced of it. But I thought I'd go ahead and show you what I've done. This, as I said, this binder is for flowers. So I have paper flowers and crocheted flowers, fabric flowers of all kinds. So these are just some of the things that I've been making lately. And let me see if we're still in focus. Yeah, we're pretty much in focus. And I sewed these pockets down. I didn't want to mess with glue. I did, when I was coming in here, wherever I started a corner or ended up at a corner, I tried to reinforce it by going back and forth over it. And as I said, using the pocket protectors, document protectors, it's plastic, but it's not rigid. So that I felt was going to be better for this type of thing because of the things that were going in it, the thickness of the various and sundry things. So there it is. And then to keep things, you know, because I sewed it on the front, and what I did for the cardstock, I used 2 pieces so that I didn't see the seams from the front on the back, and vice versa, because some pockets might go one way on one side and some pockets might go another way on the other side. So I individually sewed them down, the pockets, sewed those individually down to the cardstock, and then I went around and sewed the edges of the 2 pieces of cardstock together so that you don't get the back of one and the front of the other. So anyway, that's what I've done. I had so much fun making these flowers. The base of these flowers and these here are little doily things, crochet doilies. These are some that I actually cut out. It was a crochet large piece that had been damaged, and I cut out the little flower shapes, the little round shapes, and then I just started building up different fabrics and what have you. You can see it there. I got this idea from my friend Annette, and it was just so much fun. I don't know if she used the crochet pieces as a base for hers, but she had that layering effect, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I'll put her link below in the comments section, but it just got me off on this little tangent of making flowers, and I kind of went crazy. This piece here is a wedding applique that I just tea-dyed. And I'm not sure where these came from, but I tea-dyed those and got those rather dark looking. But anyway, you can see this is just a machine embroidered piece, but it's a flower. And then these were a lot of fun. These I did a couple of days ago. And I took a flat piece. It was sort of a rectangle piece. And I started layering again. And once I had it sort of laying there looking good, I thought about glue, but then I thought, no, I don't want to mess with glue. So what I did was just sew it. And it turned out really well. Here's another piece. Started off with a larger piece. You can see on the reverse where I've sewn it. And I just sort of held it in place and kind of went wonky all over the place, sewing it down. And it turned out really good. And this is the most fabulous way of using up tiny bits and pieces. I mean, there are some tiny pieces on here. Here's another one that I had cut out a piece of Battenberg lace. Is it Battenberg? I can't. Anyway, whatever it is. And I thought, well, that'll make a nice little base. So, and then I used this little beaded flower to center in there. Now, what you can use these for, these are so much fun. You can sew them or glue them on a page just as decoration by itself, or you can sew up like two sides and leave it as like a tuck spot. You can put them, like glue them down or sew them down on a piece of cardstock and then use them as pockets. Like you could just, you know, get the cardstock behind it, and then when you're putting it in your page, you would just sew up here and here and here, and then you'd leave the top open or the side open or whatever. But they're just wonderful to use just as, you know, something to get started with. And like I said, they were so much fun to do, and easy, easy, easy. And it used up all of those bits and pieces. You can see, I mean, I had fun. I made about 10 or 12 of them, I think. That one has a paper flower in the center, and then I used some flowers that were made out of ribbon, and some embroidered pieces, and there's one with a button on it. And they don't have to be any particular shape. This one, you can see it's quite out of shape. Out of shape, I like that. But it was just a lot of fun. I'm hoping we're not getting too much glare here so that you can actually see what I'm doing. But, and then here, these are some paper flowers that I've purchased, and I've just literally put them down. And now the problem with these was that it kept wanting to slide out when I would move my, the notebook. And so what I did was I just put a little bit of, Velcro, a little Velcro fastener right in the center so that it kept that from sliding out. And there's some more that are purchased fabric flowers. And these were, that one's purchased, not that one's purchased, but these three were handmade by Carrie Chambliss, lovely artist. I'll put her link below as well. And they were just so much fun. And then I've left some blanks, and the really neat thing about this is I can add to it, take away. You know, you just open it up, plop in another one if you need it, and just kind of go from there. And like I said, I'm hoping this will work because it takes a whole lot less space. I've got 5 now, and I think I'm going to get 2 more. This one is for pockets. I had fun with the pockets. I used, now these are slightly different. These weren't page protectors per se. These were, I think they were designed to hold photographs, but they were in odd shapes. There were 2 large ones going this way, and then there was one at the top. And anyway, I just cut it up. And I've made pockets here. You can tell there's the pocket. Now here you can see I've used one of these pieces that you saw earlier, and I've just glued it on here. And this again is using cardstock and then original pages from the Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And they go in the side. And I haven't quite, well, let's see, I'm still trying to make this work. This one I just sewed to the top. I might sew it down at the bottom. I'm not quite sure. It'd have to be kind of tight, but I kind of like it loose so that you can really get in there and move it around and what have you. Here's another one where I've just, it's a pocket there. You can put that in a book that's loose with a paper clip, or you can glue it or sew it down so that if you glue it like on 3 sides here, you've got a pocket as well in the center, but also right behind here. So that's just something to think about. I like the idea that I can see things. All I have to do is open up the book, but they're protected, and they don't get, you know, dirty and what have you. Whoops, there's something coming out. So I need some more Velcro. But again, these are some more pockets that I've made. And more pockets. I really liked making pockets, obviously. I love pockets. I think they're fun. And then here are some that I purchased at a recent retreat from Renelle. Hi, Renelle. And I see those are a little loose. I'm going to have to put a little piece of Velcro on that as well. This is very much a work in progress. This, and I'm still not sure this one's going to work either, but this piece here is they're photo holders, and they're about $1 or $2, I think about $2. You can probably get them at the dollar store. And I took just opened them up in the center, stitched them down here so that I would have this effect going on, sort of a waterfall effect, I guess. And these I've made as pockets as well. I've just taken, you know, some, again, the Edith Holden, and stitched around the piece. I didn't put a backing on these. I didn't want a backing because what I'm going to do is these are going to be glued down or stitched down to, again, form pockets or tuck spots. I'm not sure which. And then I put some of those scrap pieces, snippet pieces, I don't know what you want to call them, but I put those on there. And I think it turned out really well. As I said, I'm still not completely convinced this is how I want to go, but right now it's working. Just different ones that I did. And then there's some little envelopes, coin envelopes that I just sort of started adding stuff to. I did those in a recent retreat that I went to. So that's this one. And let's see, we've got, oh, this is Embroidered Pieces. So you see all the tags are alike. You can see that. You just line up. But I do know that, you know, they're labeled, so I know it at a glance. See, those are determined to come out. These pieces I got from, it was a piece of, I think it was a denim jacket at a thrift shop. And it had a hole in it somewhere, so someone, you know, they didn't want to wear it like that. But it was heavily embellished with all these butterflies, and so I just got it for a song and cut them all out. These shoes are the most lovely things. This was actually a Christmas ornament. It had 2 sides of it, lucky me, so I took them apart and got 2 pieces out of each one. And I've used one of them already, but let's talk about beautiful. And I can use those as just as a decoration, or I can glue them down, whatever, and then put something right in there. But these are for the embroidered pieces. These are machine embroidered as well. And you can see the different sizes. You know, I obviously needed something much smaller and kind of tight for something like this, so the pockets are, you know, that size. And again, just stitching them down 3 sides, leaving the top open. And these pieces came off of that same denim jacket. These here. But it's a nice way of kind of, you know, keeping everything looking neat. I'm a neatnik. I admit it. I like neat things. This one is miscellaneous. That's a dangerous category because everything can go in there. But I put one large pocket here, and I have these accordion pieces. I love those, and I tried different fabrics, and the ones that turned out the best were the ones using the sari silk. You can see, this was plain cotton. This was a ribbon, a satin ribbon I had. And then here we used different colors. These were ribbons, all ribbons that I used, grosgrain ribbon. And again, a deep pocket for all of those. Here are some, I had to use a little, did I use Velcro? No, I haven't yet, and I'm thinking about it because these want to travel, but these are just some little paper clip pieces of ephemera that I've created. Just a little bling on a bit of crocheted ribbon. This was a cloth, a piece of lace that I had cut out. So these were a lot of fun to do. I do think I need some Velcro on some of these pieces. Like there's a key and buttons and what have you. But some of these really like to travel a little bit. And then there's some more here. And then these are just literally strips of ribbon and strips of fabric that I've cut out and put. Some of them have just the vintage buttons on them. Those are some new buttons, but most of the buttons are vintage. And then a little bit of that cheesecloth on the reverse. And then there are some different ones here. And that's just using what's that stuff called? Oh goodness, I should know. I shouldn't even bring it up because I can never remember the thing. It's rough stuff. There, yeah, that makes sense. And here's the final one. And in this one, large pieces. That's another dangerous item because it could go anywhere. But in this one, I've literally put these large pockets in. I just purchased these pockets, but they're the kind that have the 3 holes already punched, and they're reinforced, so they're really nice and strong. And you can open them up and fill them. And in there I have, for instance, in this one I've got quite a few of my my flower cards that I do, the pressed flower cards. Some plain, some with the writing area on it. But it's really neat because if I started making something, an individual pocket for all of these, it would be ridiculous. I would have so many books I'd never get to open them because I would just get lost in it. So it's nice in this instance to just use the larger pockets. These are pages that I created. Or, I'm sorry, not pages, pockets as well, but they're large pockets. And again, using Edith Holden and doing a similar effect here, just with larger, longer pieces of just pieces built on top of each other and just sewn down. And once I sewed them down, then I put them on the card, glued it on the card. And so there's your pocket. No, I didn't glue. I'm sorry. I can see now there's the stitching on the back. I stitched them down. And that one's just blank. And again, you can put these, you could sew it here and here and here, have a pocket going that way, or you could have a pocket going this way in addition to here as well. And that was a lot of fun too. That one's upside down. That one's just one piece, but I liked the symmetry of it. These are a couple of pieces. This is an old piece that I had laying around, and I thought, right, I'm going to use it. And it was a heart, and it was February, so, you know, it made sense. But I had a lot of fun, and again, using up pieces that I wouldn't necessarily use for anything else. And it was just a lot of fun. So it's sort of like making a snippet roll, but making it much smaller. The idea, I think, is the same. But what was really neat is that, you know, you can just slide all this right in here. I want to look at them. I can take out the whole bunch. Easy, easy peasy. And then this is the last one, and I have, this is sort of a take on my, I've done this before, but I thought I hadn't really gone anywhere with it. But these, they are CD sleeves, and it's sort of a take similar to the pressed flower cards that I do, but certain flowers do not press well, and orchids are one of them. And these are all real orchids. My husband loves orchids, and I did not pull them off the plant. Well, one or two I did because he gave me permission. I asked first. But mostly I would wait till they fell off, and then I would scoop them up because they're right in my kitchen window. I go by there, you know, all the time. And I would see the petals on the counter, so I would just scoop them up and then bring them out to my studio. And I've just put them inside the tea-stained envelope, and then I stitched around just for some character. And you can see all these. There's, now I'll talk about blue. That is a blue orchid, but several blue orchids. That's about 4 of them. Oh, that was really nice. And again, what you can do with these, you can just put them in the book, just or a diary or a journal or anything, just as is. You can write on the back if you want. You can paper clip them in, or you can stitch them or glue them around and make it a pocket or a tuck spot. But they turned out really well as long as I let them dry sort of naturally. I went ahead and put them in the sleeves. You know, so the fabric the flower was still very soft, and I just sort of put them in there, and it worked out really well. When I put them in the presses, they all but disappeared. They just, I don't know, something about those flowers, they just didn't hold up under a press. But I thought those were really neat. So anyway, again, this is just, you know, it's nice to have these big pockets, because I just put them all in there and I don't have to make 16 gazillion pockets and try and fit it all in. It's just already there. And then it just closes up. So this I think is one of the most successful of the notebooks. So you can see I've got all these notebooks done, and like I said, I'm going to do, I think, at least 2 more. Let me see if I can get them here without totally screwing this up. I have 5 now. Dun, da, da, da. There they are, sort of. But anyway, like I said, I'm hoping it works. I think it will. I still have a lot more ephemera that it's just out there, but again, some pieces I'm just going to have to do whatever with. Anyway, I hope I haven't totally boggled your mind with all this, and I hope some of it makes sense. It might be helpful. I hope you have a blessed day. It's a chilly outside. It's actually turned like severe fall here in Alabama. So be safe, be careful, and have a blessed week. Bye-bye.